Just ahead on American Black Journal, Grow Detroit's Young Talent marks another successful year. We'll talk about the benefits of this summer employment program for young people. Plus, a new Detroit Schools guide is helping parents make the best choices for their children. Don't go away. American Black Journal starts now.
Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929.
For nearly 100 years, Ally has been a part of Detroit, and we give back by volunteering and donating in our community. We have a commitment to diversity and increasing economic mobility in our hometown. At Ally, we're dedicated to doing it right every single day.
Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. Each year, thousands of teenagers and young adults get an opportunity to work during the summer through the Grow Detroit's Young Talent program. For some, it's the first time they've been exposed to the workplace. For others, it's a chance to build their work readiness skills and gain experience in their chosen career fields. Meanwhile, employers are being introduced to the next generation workforce. Here to tell us more is Jason Lee. He's the executive director of Grow Detroit's Young Talent, along with employer Shauna Johnson Norfolk and program participant Akira Wright. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you
for having us.
Yeah, so this is the third year of Grow Detroit's Young Talent, is that right?
So yes, Grow Detroit Young Talent, we've historically had a summer youth program in the city of Detroit, but under Mayor Duggan's leadership, he has adopted Grow Detroit Young Talent as one of his pillars in the community. And the program went from 2,000 young people to 5,000 under Mayor Duggan's leadership.
Right.
And this year we're serving over 8,000 young people in the city of Detroit.
Right. And the importance of that program, we can't sort of overstate that. You think about the things that lurk for trouble for teens in the city in the summer. This is a primary way of redirecting them, of saying, hey, here's something for you to do that's not just not dangerous, it's something productive, it's going to help you now, it's going to help you in the future.
Absolutely. I think that everyone recognizes their first employment opportunity, getting that first paycheck. And what Grow Detroit Young Talent is doing, beyond just giving kids something to do, is giving them an opportunity to earn that first check. It is, as the Mayor's Summer Youth Program, we are providing tremendous opportunities for Detroit residents, 14 to 24, to participate in the workforce and be a contributor to Detroit.
Yeah, yeah. You're one of the employers who participates. Tell us about your business and tell us about your experience with these young people.
Yes, I am. I'm an employer. My company is B Legacy Solutions, and our goal to work with Grow Detroit Young Talent is to employ young people, give them job readiness skills, also give them the opportunity and the ability to have some hands-on training. Anything from attire, interviewing skills. They also have had an opportunity to do some site visits with some local judges at 36th District Court. And so our goal is really to prepare them for the opportunities that lie ahead.
Yeah, what's the nature of the business that you...
The nature of the business is basically training and coaching and personal development.
Yeah, yeah. And what's the response you get from the young people?
The response from the young people is very positive. In the beginning, you know, they're a little timid because they don't know what to expect. It is not a regular work environment as they would expect. And so we come in, we do a lot of team building, a lot of networking, and then there are some assessments of their strengths and their talents. So it's unlike anything that they've had before, but naturally as we progress, they progress and they improve over time.
And how long has your business been participating in this?
This is my first year participating with Grow Detroit's Young Talent.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. So you will come back next summer, you think?
Hopefully they'll have me back. My goal is to come back and continue to develop our young talent in the city of Detroit, because it's very important that we have a product as well to send out into the city and to other states across the nation. And so my goal is to help do that.
Yeah.
And see, and what B Legacy is providing is what we call an industry-led training opportunity. So We have students in a very diverse employment range of opportunities. And so whether it's working at a company, whether it's in automotive or one of the companies that's downtown in the city of Detroit, or even a small business, we're giving kids diverse experiences in alignment with what their skill sets are, as also their needs and interests.
Yeah.
So B Legacy is providing tremendous opportunities for get kids additional foundations. So kids are essentially getting paid to learn about themselves. So that's one of our newer initiatives for 2018.
Yeah, yeah. So, Akira, you're one of the participants in Grow Detroit's Young Talent this summer. Tell us what you did and how you found it.
Well, what I did, her program helped me learn more about myself. And I knew my strengths. We had a strength finder. So I knew my strengths. I just didn't know how to use them.
Yeah.
And throughout her program, I learned how to use my strength. I learned how to be a better leader, because you can be a leader, but that don't mean you're a good leader. So I learned how to be a better leader and just a positive person overall. Even if I wasn't getting paid, I would still do her program. Her program is so amazing. I think it should be year-round.
Yeah. So what year are you in school?
2019. I'm a senior.
Okay.
Now.
So you're gonna graduate in the spring. Talk about how this has framed for you the way you think of your work life after high school or after college. Has this really sort of helped you decide what you're interested in?
Honestly, just doing this program, the career options are endless.
Yeah.
We just seen a judge, and she was so confident, very confident. And I was like, I want to be a judge. But then we saw a psychiatrist before that, and I'm like, I want to be a psychiatrist. And then I'm like, I want to be a motivated speaker. I want to be, it's just so much. I want to be an entrepreneur. I don't know. It's just the options are endless.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the idea that this work experience sort of opens up those options to you. I mean, it's sort of the idea behind it is the more you're exposed to things, the more curious you might be about other things.
But it did teach me that I want to work with people. I like networking, and the CAP program also taught me about networking. So this was just both programs were just so amazing.
The CAP program she's mentioning is something new you have with Detroit.
Yes, absolutely. So we're really excited this year. We partnered with Detroit Public Schools Community District and also with the United Way to create what we call the CAP program, which is the Career Academy program. Looking at the lens in other urban communities and other youth employment programs, there's been a push for us to have a year-round work readiness program. So this is our pilot. We've worked with 5 Detroit Public School Community District high schools, Cody, Randolph, Osborne, Western International, and Ben Carson. And we picked a segment of students to participate in that group. They are receiving year-round work readiness support, as well as a career specialist to kind of support them throughout their work pathways, and also removing any barriers that may be impeding them from an academic perspective also.
Yeah.
So Akira was part of our group at Ben Carson, and we kind of walked through the process of becoming an employee through GDYT. We provided additional levels of work readiness training. In addition to that, we also provided what we call work readiness behavioral health awareness training through a partnership with Detroit Wayne Mental Health Authority. So over 1,500 young people who participated in GDYT received what we call behavioral health awareness training, which we recognize that there's some obstacles that many people are facing that are preventing them from being either employed or maintaining employment.
Yes.
So this training is becoming a critical component of our work moving forward.
Yeah, yeah. When you are looking to hire people at your business, talk about some of the things that you see are lacking here in the city of Detroit that may be made up for by programs like this.
One of the things that I see not necessarily lacking but needs improvement is leadership.
Yeah.
And our young people need to know and be taught that they are leaders and that they can be leaders. And one of the other things is identifying what are their strengths, and that's one of the first things they do when they come into the program, because they know they have talents. They know they're really good at things, but how do I harness those and put those on a pathway so that I can do what I need to do and not feel necessarily like work. So understanding what your strengths are and not focusing only on the weaknesses, I think is very helpful for our young people, so that they don't feel so defeated every time something needs to improve, and so they can start from a place of leverage, because they know what they're good at, and the ability to lead, to walk into a room and be a leader and understand and make connections and networking. This is the social media age, and so some of that high touch has been lacking. And so one of the things that we do in the program is we force the young people to interact with each other and get to know each other.
That's interesting. Outside of social media,
outside of social media,
face to face, which a lot of young people are not really interested in right now, right?
They are not. They are not. But the first day when they walked in, I told them, you all will become a family at the end of the 6 weeks. And, we're going to put the phones down and just engage with one another, just learn small things about each other, because we're all humans and we all have a lot of similarities. And so they've taken that to a new level.
I'll bet they have. Kira, talk about how this fits in with the work that you do in school. You're at Ben Carson, is that right? Does this dovetail nicely with what they're trying to prepare you for?
Yes. Basically, they teach you, both programs teach you critical thinking skills, and in school you're going to need that. Also, she got us ready for filling out the basic information for college, stuff that would be stuff that school don't teach.
That they're not going to make sure that you know how to do, right? Yeah. Are you thinking about applying to college for the next year? Yeah. And so this helped out, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Talk about into the future. Grow Detroit's young talent. This has grown a lot over the last 3 years. So what else is on tap?
So I think that we're going to see continued partnership with industry-led training opportunities, as well as working with the leading companies that are here in the city, but also with small businesses, small and medium-sized businesses. We did a partnership with Motor City Match, and we provided an intern to the Motor City Match winners for this year. And it was a tremendous experience. As we talked to Motor City Match and other agencies that are working with businesses that are trying to either grow here in Detroit or be here, the conversation around talent continues to come up. So this is an opportunity for businesses to get a insight into what type of talent is here, to meet young people like Akira, and actually give them exposure to those opportunities for future careers.
And the pipeline for this, does it flow through DPS, CD, and other schools for the program?
We had over 13,000 young people apply for the program for internship opportunities this summer. And it is a cross-section of all of Detroit. To qualify for Grow Detroit Young Talent, there's just two simple factors. You have to be a Detroit resident and be between 14 and 24 years of age.
Okay, right. So you're getting all kinds of people coming through.
Absolutely. So we're going to do some strategic planning moving forward and look at how do we continue to have a model that's relevant to the community, that is important to the business community, and we've received tremendous amount of support from business, from the philanthropic community here in Detroit. We are a very generous community that believes in the young people and its future.
Okay, well, congratulations on all the good work, and congratulations, Akira, on a successful, productive summer. I didn't have many of those when I was a teenager, so you're ahead of the game. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just ahead, a new guide to Detroit schools, but first we continue our look back at this program over the last 50 years. Here's a 1991 Detroit Black Journal interview with newly appointed Detroit School Superintendent Deborah McGriff.
I think during the 2 months of the transition, I've met with the citywide school, the chair people of each of the area councils, the parents. Now I'm trying to remember the exact name.
Sure, it's tough.
There is a parent group that's met. the Covenant for Participation. I spent the day with that group of parents. I've also met with a group of parents with Operation Get Down from the community. So I think that what I've tried to communicate is that I'm open and I'm accessible, and that I will meet with any group that has something to say to the general superintendent that might be helpful. And the same is true about the school board. I am not going to say that I'm only going to talk to the school board members who voted for me. If you're a board member, you have a right to have access to the superintendent, and I plan to be neutral and to work collaboratively with everyone.
School is wrapping up for the summer for many students right now, and they won't be back in a school situation until the fall. Any advice for the students or for the parents in terms of what kinds of things they can be doing this summer to make them better students in the fall?
I think young people should spend some time in the library. They definitely need to spend less time watching television, spend time reading, find enriching activities through community agencies and other places in the community to keep young people active and out of trouble, and to maintain those academic skills that they've acquired during the school year.
The newly formed Community Education Commission has released a Detroit Parents Guide to Schools. The book includes information on all of Detroit's public and charter K-12 schools, such as enrollment timelines, after-school programs, and transportation options. The commissioners are volunteers who were appointed by Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan. Joining me now is the chair of the Community Education Commission, Monique Marks. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So there's an incredible amount of information in this book about all of the schools that exist in our city charter and public. The first question I have is, how did you get all of this and put it into a book? We have been waiting for something like this for years in the city of Detroit.
Well, I must say this, Stephen, it was a collective effort.
Yeah.
It was something very necessary and something that our parents need to make informed decisions on where they want to, first of all, live in the city, and then where they want to send their children. So it's 197 schools, again, both public and charter, and it also gives so much more information to parents. Like, for instance, what time does school open in the morning?
Right.
That's important, because if you have to be at work at a certain time, you need to know
when you gotta get your kid to school.
What
right?
time? And this school over here may have a later start time.
Sure.
So those kind of things. Uniforms, if the kids have to wear uniforms, and what activities do they have? If you have kids that you know love sports, then you want to find a school that offers sports to your kids. So this guide is chock full of information.
It is.
And it's available to the public.
Yeah. Talk a little more about what the Education Commission is up to outside of this report. This is sort of, I think, an offshoot, I guess, of the reorganization of the public school system and the renewed interest in making sure that both students and parents have what they need to go to school and be successful.
Well, let me start by saying this. If we're going to have this amazing city, we need amazing schools, and we need amazing young children, right? So you can't have an amazing city without looking at our students, and because who's going to take our place one day, Stephen? Someone's going to be sitting in your chair, right?
Some young person out there
Yes,
is
and so we want to
that.
educate them well. So we thought that in-school time is important, but out-of-school time is just as important.
Yeah.
So as the commission, we sat down, we thought about it, and we said, what can we do to help families be successful in this? So transportation is the #1 thing that is plaguing our city, as you know, with all things. So we develop a goal line. That's what we call it, Get On and Learn. And so it's a free bus line that takes the kids from, and this is a pilot, so we're only doing it with 10 schools in the northwest area of Detroit. And they go around and they pick up the kids and they transport the kids, get this, you're going to be excited, to after school programs.
Rec centers.
A rec center. And this one is Northwest Activity Center. And we also have technology to back it up. So this commission has thought of everything. So parents want to know, did my kid get on the bus? Yes, they did, because they swiped on and we sent them a text. And then when they get to Northwest Activity Center, they swipe again, and the parent gets a text letting them know that their kid has safely arrived at Northwest Activity Center, so that they can have all these wonderful activities in their out-of-school time.
Yeah, and that kind of support, those kind of support activities for the core function of the school district, which is, you know, between 8 and 3 or whatever it is, to make sure that kids are educated. That's the kind of thing that we've always been missing here in Detroit. Even when I feel like we were getting the school day right or more right than we get it now, we've not been really great at making sure that parents have the support that they need to get their kids to school, to give them other opportunities to do things after school. It seems like maybe that's starting to fill in around this new school district.
Absolutely. Imagine parents having a full day and they have to take their lunch hour at 3 o'clock or whatever time their kid get out of school and make the mad dash across town to get their kids safely someplace and then back. Well, this gives them the opportunity to relax and say, oh, I got a text. I know my kid is on the bus. I could relax. I know my kid is at Northwest Activity Center, and that they're getting all these wonderful activities. Like, we've made sure we thought of a lot of things that kids don't necessarily get in school, like gymnastics, financial literacy, swimming, basketball. So they'll have all these activities to keep them entertained after school until their parents can pick them up.
Yeah. Back to the guide here. This is intended to help parents make choices about what schools work for their kids and for them. And it sort of reminds me that that choice is a word we use a lot, and when we talk about education in Detroit, sometimes in favorable terms, sometimes in unfavorable terms. But one of the things that we've always been missing is the idea that every choice that parents make should be an informed choice, that it should be a choice based on knowledge and fact, rather than impression or rumor or anything like that. And it seems to me that this sort of slides right into the gap that exists between those two spaces, right? As opposed to having parents guess at what school is best for their kids, they can really know what is going on in that building, what it's like, what, as you point out, what time it starts, all of these things before they make that choice.
Absolutely. So the guide is to give parents information, and that's one of the other fundamental reasons why the commission was commissioned.
Yeah, right.
Because we want to make sure that parents know what's going on in their city. They know what choices they have. So in addition to us finding resources to give additional things like the bus loop and the after-school programming, we also want to get all the information into the parents' hand so they can make informed decisions about their children.
We're still in the early stages of this new district and seeing some of the things that are coming online. How optimistic are you about what is going to happen with education here in the city over the next couple of years? And how long do you think it'll be before we are no longer saying this is our biggest problem in Detroit?
Well, I'm very, very, very optimistic. And not just because I'm the chair, but because the people that I sit on the commission with, we are all fed up. We're all frustrated. And we're tired of new initiatives and letting our families down and letting our children down. So we've all committed to taking this all the way to the top and making sure that every child in our city receives a quality education, not just by getting them the information, by working as advocates, by working with both the mayor's office, who has been amazing with, he's pushing this harder than anyone, because you can't retain citizens if you can't have good schools.
It's not a decent school.
If it's not a decent school. So I'm very optimistic because of the people that has come to the table and because of how well received the guide is. And just the families calling me saying, thank you. Thank you for hearing our voice. Thank you for making us part of the decision-making process and asking us what we need and what we want, as opposed to us always telling parents what they need. We want the parents to tell us what they need and how we can help them achieve that goal.
And I would imagine that you'll do this each year into the future, and then maybe it'll be a little easier. I would imagine that at first, maybe some of the schools were a little skeptical about giving you information about what they're doing, right? They're not used to being asked that question.
Absolutely. The principals were all like,
why do you want
what are you going to do with this information?
What are you going to do?
Right. So we told them, listen, this is you and your shining star. Tell us what you do very well at your school. So that the community knows that you're doing all these amazing things that nobody knows about. And then also, this is an opportunity for where you fall short. we can have resources and we can help you go to the next level to be successful, and that all the kids in your school are successful as well.
Yeah. Okay, well, congratulations on the report, and thanks very much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. You have an awesome day.
Yeah, you too.
All right.
That's our program for today. Thanks for watching. Go to AmericanBlackJournal.org to get more information on our guests and to check out a calendar of upcoming community events in the Detroit area. Plus, you can always connect with us on Facebook and on Twitter. We'll see you next time.
As American Black Journal looks ahead at the next 50 years, we want to hear from you, the viewers. Tell us what you think of this program and what you'd like to see on future episodes. Visit AmericanBlackJournal.org to take a quick survey and share your opinion. Thank you.